7 life-changing lessons I learned from Jeff Bezos from the movie Bezos: The Beginning. Now, this movie released early in 2023, and look, you may have already known about the story of Jeff Bezos, you may have read about it, heard about it, but here's the thing, when you watch the movie, there's something that deeply inspires you to take action, overcome obstacles in any pursuit that you may be going after. And why is watching a movie of somebody else like this important? Well, there's something called mimetic theory, and this helps explain why, in most situations, we are somewhat of a conformist. We just copy people that are around us. We only think that what is possible is by the constraints of what we see and what we experience other people do. You may be questioning why you're caught in a rut or why you never recognize opportunity. How can you escape the rat race? How can you stop living for the weekends or dreading Mondays? Well, when you watch a movie like this, you can see that even the Jeff Bezoses of the world, they have the same struggles, the same questions, the same fears. So what makes them different? There's two things. It is their level of awareness and is the response to their challenges. So with that being said, let's get into the 7 life-transforming messages I got from the story of Jeff Bezos. Number 1, you've got to learn how to see around corners. In other words, you have to learn how to spot opportunities and trends. So in 1994, Bezos was senior vice president at one of the largest hedge fund companies. And during some of his work, he noticed a trend, a statistic that showed how the internet was growing at a rate 2,300%. Now, this caught Bezos' attention, and he thought how this could revolutionize the way that people shopped. And initially, this is what sparked his idea for Amazon. But here's the difference between Bezos and other people. When he noticed that trend, he asked himself, how could he capitalize on such a situation? What most people do, even if they recognize an opportunity like this, they simply ignore it and they go about their day. But Bezos could not stop thinking about it, constantly kept questioning how he could capitalize on the situation. All right, now for lesson number 2, which is do not despise small beginnings. There's an ancient scripture from Zechariah 4:10, and it says this, do not despise small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Now, Bezos, he started small. He worked out of his garage. He hired software developers for pennies. He changed the name of the company at least 3 times. So regardless of your beliefs, pay attention to Zechariah. Don't despise small beginnings. Just like we develop as humans, you have to crawl, then you walk, then you run. So you must let whatever process you're going after begin and then build from there. Now, lesson number 3, the regret minimalization framework. Essentially what Bezos did was he looked forward into his future and he said, at 80 years old, what will I regret? Well, he determined that he would not regret leaving the hedge fund company, but he would regret if he didn't pursue the Amazon idea. So the question for you, the question for me is, what is it that we will regret looking back on our life? If that question hits you hard, then you need to start today. Do not wait. Get going on it today. Lesson number 4, do not settle for comfort. Do not settle for mediocrity. The point of this is that we have to self-actualize. We have to become all that we can be. Now, the interesting thing here about Bezos is he had a 6-figure job. He had a 6-figure senior vice president position. He was very comfortable in life, and most people would have settled for that. But visionaries like Jeff Bezos, and hopefully like yourself, the person I'm trying to become, world changers, we do not settle for mediocrity. And now for lesson number 5, and this is a big one, because going back to the mimetic process of people we conform to and copy, you're going to be asking advice from people that are around you. But here's the key. You have to ignore the advice of what I call negative, scared, play it safe people. These people will not believe in your vision because they can only see what they think is possible. They're giving you advice from their own perspective, and their names will never be remembered because they're only focusing on comfort. The essential point here is that if you want to get advice, you've got to ask people who have accomplished the very thing or something similar to what it is you're going after. So bottom line, just ignore any crabs in the bucket that are trying to pull you back down and seek advice from people who really know what they're talking about. All right, now for the next lesson, one word: obsession. To stand out, to do something different, to transform your life, this is not going to happen by accident. And you have to remove yourself from the brainwashing, society-driven, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday type mindset, and you've got to become obsessed about what it is you want. Bezos put everything on the line. He raised the money. He obsessed day and night. He never stopped thinking about Amazon. Because see, what most people will do is they'll get up, they'll work their 9 to 5, they'll come home and have a drink, and then they'll watch Netflix for the rest of the night. They become consumers instead of creators. They become spenders instead of investors. But to be at the level of something as big as creating Amazon, you have to do what the great Jerry Rice, former football player, says. You have to do what others won't so that you can achieve what others can't. And for lesson number 7, do not let setbacks stop your pursuit. Now this goes back into our prior lesson on being obsessed, but this is very closely related to the word passion. See, passion equals persistence. The reason Bezos was so persistent was because he was passionate, he was obsessed to make his dream come true. He had to think, he had to create, he had to brainstorm, he had to get investors, he had to overcome setbacks. He had to defeat any challenges from competitors who were trying to make him stop. Anybody else in the same situation, they would have quit early on. But for Bezos, it was simply his fuel that kept him going. So whether you agree with everything that Jeff Bezos says or does is pointless. What you need to take home are these lessons from how he became a successful entrepreneur and created Amazon. How he escaped the rat race, just punching the clock and taking up space, and how he has made a dent in the universe. So now it is your turn to transform your life. I want you to take home these final 3 call to actions. You need to become aware of opportunities. You need to respond and overcome challenges. And you need to be obsessed. So if you like this video, be sure to smash the like button and watch the next one where you can see how rich people think.